Good morning. It's good morning. I just came from checking out some things in the garden. You can see that right there. That's some of my garlic cuttings. Beautiful thing there. Beautiful thing there. Garlic cuttings. Beautiful garlic cuttings. And I did that last night. I was making a pot of stew. And the clippings that I've been showing you guys around here, I'll show you this right now. I cut them back. And when I cut these back, they're going to grow right back in about 2 days. They're going to be about 12 inches tall. And so that's what I did. Now, um, got out in the yard, got into the yard, looked at a couple of trees, did some pruning, came back in because it's very cold out there. It feels like maybe around 30, 32 degrees. And I'm going to go out and remove some larger branches from the pear tree. I'm going to remove branches from the pear tree and going to have a good time doing it. Removing the larger branches from the tree because I grow fruit, not wood, and also I'm going to open it up so the sun can really get in there and do its thing during the warmer weather. Once the everything starts growing again, it'll still be able to allow a great deal of what we call the sun into that tree, and that's what you want to do. You don't want a whole bunch of just branches all over the place and no place to allow the sun into that tree. I also went out and took one tree that was aiming itself sideways and I propped it up with a cinder block. And hopefully that will resolve that problem of keeping that tree, together like it's supposed to be. And I want that tree to start standing up on its own, and it will eventually. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Food forest and culture. Yes. Um, and so I also, very important. I planted while I was out there, took some cuttings and I planted in a flower pot some um, blackberry plants. And I think I want to say I did about 10, 12 cuttings. And out of that, I may get a good amount that will actually root. And once it does, I have more blackberries to put down. The name of the game here is start mass production this year, massive production this year, because I want to see how much can you actually push out of a property if you do everything that you know to do correctly on a property this size. And I just want to do massive production. Now, tomatoes, instead of doing 4 plants, I might do 12. Instead of doing 6 plants of cucumbers, I might do 15. Things of that nature. And people say, well, what are you going to do with 15 cucumbers? I'd much rather have that problem than to have the problem of not getting enough. So I'm trying to talk everyone into mass production this year. Grow as much as you possibly can, and that's what I'm interested in, and uh, and that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great deal of fun. But the larger branches are going to be removed from the fruit trees this morning, opening it up. And I'm going to do the last thing I'm going to do is the rose bushes because the rose bushes are a situation where I mean, I'm just growing them for to attract pollinators, and it's not a big deal to do the rose bushes. I mean, I could do them next month if I want to, um, but having pots set up for the plants that are the blackberries, I want to do them, make sure that they're up and running. And like I said, I planted out 12 cuttings, and also I have about about 25 cuttings of your plant. It's a kiwi plant, so I'm looking at that as well. Oh, okay, now you said something here, and I'm just thinking about it. If I heard anything like this before, blackberries help the human. Was it clean the human blood? And that's something I didn't know. I would definitely look into that because um, I started growing them years ago because I knew they were very healthy for you. And then I was telling the bull that he needs to grow at least one plant. He should buy one plant, put it in for the rabbits so they can eat the leaves at different times when you see a rabbit with slight or a problem with diarrhea, you won't have to worry about losing that rabbit. You can just go get some of the leaves and feed it to the rabbit, and he's fine. And that's what I'm thinking that I think I want to do. I mean, I get that information on because I think he should grow it because it'd be healthy for his family and also for the rabbits. But if he buy one plant, it's going to grow 16, 17, 18 feet tall. You take some cuttings from it, keep them about 6 to 7 inches tall, put them in the ground in one location, keep an eye on them because they can get out of control. Um, and when you start growing these berries, you will see how great they are when you eat them and they cause you just to feel better. And now you can get a palm full of them, about that much, for close to about $5. And that's what they cost nowadays. So why would I not want to have this very expensive berry growing on my property? There's no reason for it. So now I am going to put in as much of that berry as I can, and that's how that works. I have three locations that I can work with at putting them berries in, and that's how I'm going to do it. Yeah, just make it happen. Let's see, antioxidants. Yeah, I read somewhere where blackberries have one of the highest levels of antioxidants than other berries. So you know that is always a good thing to know. Oh, kiwi is great. Yeah, kiwi is great. Kiwi is a great plant. Um, I have one plant out there growing, and this year I actually took a real dedication to definitely get some cuttings from it. And I got 25 cuttings from it. So all I want to grow is like maybe get two more plants growing, and then that will give me the protection if anything were to go wrong with one plant, that I would definitely have backups, and that's what I want to do. Now, as far as growing two more plants, each plant has the ability at full age to grow about 100 pounds of fruit a year. So if we're talking about putting in two more plants, we can get close to about 250, 300 pounds of berries each year. Think about that for a second. Um, you would have control over one of the healthiest berries you can eat, and you would have it on your property, and it would be growing, and you would keep it under control, and you would see that you would definitely have all the fruit you would need on that end. Thank you very much, whoever sent that thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, because what I see people doing is they're kind of messing around with gardening, and they're not really, wearing it to their fullest potential. They still think they still growing in the yards like it's a hobby. It's a hobby. When you start putting in trees in large numbers, it's no longer a hobby anymore, in my opinion. You're trying to grow for food and you're trying to grow for control of where your food comes from. I have 25 trees on my property. I have about 25 or 30 raspberry plants. Um, so far, right now, as far as the blueberries go, I have total one, two, three, four plants there. And the only reason why I have four plants of it is because I haven't taken any cuttings yet, and really got serious about growing blueberry plants. Um, my opinion, a blueberry plant is somewhat of a slow grower. That's another thing that I've noticed about them. From my experience, they're slow growers. They don't grow very fast. And people go in the stores and buying the very large plants and paying close to $20 for them. And the blackberries will have. Oh my goodness! Wait a minute here. Food forest permaculture just said something that I hope all of you got that. Um, he said that it will also help with your vision. And one day I woke up one day and I noticed that in this eye here, I have a floater called a floater, and it appeared out of nowhere. And and it's still there now. I can see it just does this, and you got to be careful with them because if they do certain things, they say that it should not float up because that means that there's bleeding in the back of the eye. But mine is due to aging, and I looked at that and I said, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And here it is. There are plants and things that will help improve your vision, help improve it, repair damage to the eye, and damage due to things like aging and that sort of thing. Blackberries, awesome. Now he said that he goes as far as saying that blackberries are awesome. So I take it, food forest, that you, sir or ma'am, have some blackberries on your property. Okay. Okay, the doctors will give you the pills made of the a derivative from blackberries. Okay, great, great. Thank you very much for sharing that. Yes, several types are growing. Okay, now I want to ask you something because this is a good deal. Now we're sharing, and I love this. I purchased because they got me one time. I purchased a blackberry plant online, and it said, how they show you that picture with the big blackberry in the palm, almost big as the palm. And I remember I bought it. It was expensive too, like $21, and I got it. And once I got it, once it started growing, it grew all these huge thorns on it. Not little thorns, but huge thorns. That when you walk by them, because I remember walking by them one day, my neighbor had to laugh because the plant was 7 feet tall. I got a little too close. It hung in my hair. It hung in my shirt, and I just walked off like it was nothing wrong when really this was cutting into me, and then it snapped right off. And my neighbor just laughed because he said, "I don't think I want to do this gardening thing. It's too dangerous." But but the thorns on it they were long thorns, and they were sharp enough to fish with, um, sharp as a fish hook, so to speak. And it snapped off, and I had to reach back and remove it from my shirt and from my head because it was stuck in my scab as well. And I remember that. It was funny though. I mean, it was funny. Oh goodness! Oh my God! That was crazy. It was crazy. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I wish I had them that day. Yeah. Do you grow any of the types that grow the thorns? Or maybe that's a crazy question. Because I've been, I kind of, I'm growing one type now. It's the same one that I bought 6 years ago, and it was sold at Home Depot, and it was over in the corner and it was dying because it wasn't watering it anymore at the end of the season. And he could have gave it to me, but the guy looked at me and said, "Ah, hell with him." And he went ahead and gave it to me at almost the price it was when it was, in the store. All types of blackberries. Okay, you have all types. And so what I did, um, I got the blackberry plant, took it home, dug a hole, loaded the hole up with compost, covered it over, watered it, came back in a day. You can see it was recovering. 3 days later, all this new growth. 4 or 5 days later, it started growing upward. And it was so healthy that I said, "Oh my God, this plant is taking off." Okay. Oh, you have okay. You got a favorite. I like the one I have, and that's the one that was bought at Lowe's. I mean, from Home Depot, and it's just a regular common kind. I think they call it Navajo or something like that. And it has no thorns. It gets crazy because it grows and touches the ground and creates another plant. And I've given these plants to all my neighbors that I know very well. I've given these plants to them, and they really, uh, um, you know, did okay with them. My neighbor next door, he's doing fine with his, but I think he kind of works a lot, and I don't know what that plant's over there doing now. But it was growing so vigorous that I named the plant Kong. Um, that's what I named it. Oh boy. Let me take this, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Morning Gardener. Thank you.